Hey, what is up guys, and welcome back to the channel. Now today's video is another money making method, and this is one of my more personal methods, so it's not been recommended by anyone. It's just something I like to run every now and again, and definitely one of the more, I guess, less strenuous methods. There's not much in the way of kind of strategy or anything like that. It's all about just kind of going in, sitting in a car, driving it around, cruising, having a bit of fun, and then essentially just making a ton of money at the end. You don't have to think too hard, you don't have to concentrate too hard, and it's a very easy race to do. So the livery we're using here is the FK Massimo livery. This is actually an abandoned race car out in Japan, but the owners refused to sell it. So I kind of thought it'd be cool to put it on the car. So the livery designer for this one is Kloss, I want to say. So yeah, go ahead, search him up, and you'll be able to find the livery from there if this is one you want to run. Really simple setup this one, so have the racing hards, and also make sure you also have the intermediates and the heavy wets, just in case of weather changes. Body height is 65 and at the rear is 70. Anti-roll bar is 5 at the front, 5 at the back. Compression is 25, 25. Expansion 45, 45. Natural frequency is 350, 350. Negative camera angle 3.0, 3.0. Toe angle 0.10 outwards, 0.20 inwards. And then on the differential side, it's 15 on the initial torque, 40 and 25. We've got the fully customizable racing transmission set to 300, so go ahead and ensure you've got that on. Power restrictor is 96, ballast positioning -3, ballast is only 2, output adjustment 95 with a fully customizable ECU. Downforce at the front is 400, at the rear again is max but the opposite way at 650. Anti-lag is on strong for this car. It makes an absolutely awesome sound. Nothing else needs changing. Feel free to pause. This is for the newbies to basically help them find the event, I guess. So go into Europe, and it's going to be this track here, Le Mans. The event you're going to want is World Touring Car 700, so go ahead and enter that one. So the main reason I like this method is just because it's so relaxed and so laid back. Tokyo is great for using a bunch of different cars, and I really kind of just wanted to recently get some use out of this Supra. It's kind of been sat around since I beat all the cafe menus way back when, so I wanted to kind of just bring it back the last few days. So I've done a couple of runs in it and genuinely just really enjoyed it because it's just so relaxed and so easy to do. What you want to do in terms of doing the race, you want to mainly run it in fuel mix 6, and that's what makes this such a good car, is its fuel consumption. You will find that you will be pitting later than any of the other cars around you. In terms of straight line speed, you're around about the same pace as the Group 4s. Through the corners, you can absolutely throw this car through. My confidence absolutely grew and grew the more I drove this thing, to the point where you can just absolutely flat out these corners. No need to lift, very little braking needed, and you'll find you'll really kind of get into a rhythm using this car. Now, straight line speed, like I said, is just not absolutely mind-blowing or anything ridiculous. You're pretty much on par, and you're going to be required to run slipstreams of the Group 4s as you work your way down. You could essentially boost the engine up, however, the main draw to this car is its fuel consumption, so I would recommend just running fuel mix 6. Put it on any difficulty you want. I'd kind of just recommend easy for Le Mans. If we're grinding money, then there's no reason for a challenge. I've never understood why people want a challenge if you're going purely for profit and gain on a car. Now, I didn't actually show you the price of this car because it's a Legend dealership car, but I believe most people got this with the pre-order of Gran Turismo 7, so a lot of people will have this car in their garage. If you do want to buy one, I believe it's something about maybe 1.7 million, so you are going to earn that money back within a couple of runs of just doing this event. And it's also a very handy car for the cafe menu, so I do recommend jumping on that. In terms of clean race bonus, now it's a little bit awkward how it works, so you don't have to worry about hitting cars or running wide or anything like that. The only thing that will affect your clean race bonus is if you overtake under yellow flags. It happens a lot more often at Le Mans than any of the other tracks due to the AI getting caught out in wet weather, so you sometimes may be caught up behind them and they'll spin. Just be very careful with holding back, and just ensure you don't do anything basically illegal, or else you will lose that clean race bonus, but it's very difficult to lose it. By the start of lap 2, I fully recommend just keeping an eye on this weather radar, zoom it all the way out, and ensure you are watching for rain coming in. More than often, it will happen at Le Mans. However, we are going to get a pretty decent run here, and we're also going to inherit the lead at this point, so we're not going to have to worry about the AI anymore as well. So yeah, it does rain more than often at Le Mans. However, I'm going to get a dry run in this instance. So I recommend on lap 4 you should have a bit of fuel left over. As you hit the straight up, turn the engine up. When you get to the corners, turn it back to 6 and then rinse and repeat. You should have enough fuel to basically make this a much faster lap. This will allow you to gap the AI as they all pit, and it will give you more space once you've pitted to basically get in, get your tyres, refuel, and obviously stretch that lead out even more. As you can see, this car is much quicker when you do run it in that fuel mix 1, which is to be expected. It's kind of surprising how much the fuel mix has absolutely nerfed this car, and I find it's mostly that way with a lot of the Group 3 cars. As you can see currently on the left hand side, the AI is pitting. They will pretty much all pit bar a couple, I think, on the end of the 3rd lap. So again, we can get 4 laps of fuel before we have to pit, so that is a very big draw towards this car, especially if you use a lot of road cars here, which a lot of people do. You'll find that more than often or not they will do 2 or 3 laps and then you're having to pit in, meaning that sometimes you have to do upwards of 3 pit stops. The great thing about this car, 1 single pit stop the whole race. If you do get the obviously dry weather, even if you don't, you should be able to still get away with a single pit stop. So at the end of lap 4, we are going to box in, take our one and only stop of the race. Tyre wear is actually not that high on this car. It's very kind to its tyres, so I'm not really feeling a difference at all. Again, fuel consumption is good, so what we're going to do here is just to ensure that we've got some fresh boots until the end. So we're going to go and throw another set of hard tyres on. We're obviously going to refill the car to full, and that will give us enough fuel to basically just keep going all the way to the end and not have to do another pit stop. If the rain came down, I would have probably boxed in for some inters, maybe done a quick splash and dash, but that would have been about it. As you can see at Le Mans, the pit lane is absolutely horrendous. It goes on for an absolute mile. I mean, we're already 30 seconds into this pit stop and we're only just getting to our box. So they're going to go ahead, change the tyres, fill the car up, and then we're going to get underway again. Another feature that I absolutely love about this car is the fact that they fill it up at the back. I just think it's awesome. I just thought I'd point that out. I know this is supposed to be a money guide, but it's kind of cool. The more different cars you use, you kind of realise how many cool little nifty features there is. So I thought it was kind of awesome to point that one out. So away we go. We are on lap 5 and we are not going to have to pit again. So, on the end of lap 5, we picked up a track limit penalty, so I'll show you a bit more about that later. And we did get a slight bit of rain. It was only a slight bit, it wasn't enough to basically dampen the track. So we are still okay on the dry compound of tyres we're on. Don't always panic when rain comes, sometimes it will just pass over. It's a lot more dynamic since update 1.20. And just as proof that the penalties won't affect your clean race bonus, we're going to go ahead and serve ours. You know, some people really seem to think the clean race bonus can just be lost no matter what, but it genuinely can't. It's only under yellow flag circumstances. And on to lap 7, we've got one more lap to do. We've got plenty of fuel left, so we're basically just going to run the car in its max engine mode for this whole final lap. This will allow us just to get to the end quicker and get closer to the 30-minute time barrier, which basically ticks down the whole race. We even managed to lap someone, so I don't know what happened to this Mazda. It was just kind of hanging around at the back, but you know, it's not very often that happens at Le Mans, so we did manage to do to basically overlap someone. We've got quite a bit of fuel left at the end. We're just going to take the last few corners. I believe I'm actually going to overshoot the last one in a rush to get to the finish, so really not too bad. We're only just over 30 minutes, and we're going to go and cross the line with a full dry run. So overall we did a 30 minutes 50 seconds .833 with a fastest lap of 4 minute 12.073 on the final lap, even with that mistake. So the pace is genuinely there for that last lap. The main draw to this car is definitely its fuel consumption. It really does help you kind of cut down the times you have to pit, and it does make a change from some of the road cars that we've run at Le Mans as of late. So it's 825k in 30 minutes. nice and easy. So again, this was just more a method for myself, and I thought, well, why not make a video on it? You know, it's quite a simple setup. It's really easy to run. It's a lot more kind of laid back than having to sort of drag muscle cars around Le Mans, or, you know, cars where you're having to pit every 2 laps. You can pretty much just get in and drive and do a single pit stop and get away with it. So really genuinely enjoying this method. It's probably one that I'm going to use more when I kind of just want to chill out from doing the tomahawk grind or anything like that, because trust me, the tomahawk grind can be exhausting after you've run it like 4 or 5 times in a row. You just, you know, you've got cramp, you just like want to jump into something a lot kind of more, I guess, easier pace. So this is definitely the kind of car for more laid back players, I'd say. So thank you so much for the support lately. Thank you to our channel members. If you want to donate, donation links are in the description down below. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and turn those notifications on, and I'll see you all in the next one. Cheers guys, peace.